1 Samuel 17 provides a technical blueprint for how to confront paralyzing, impossible fear. It is a study of human limitation under the pressure of a mathematically superior threat. The context is a 40-day deadlock in a valley. During this time, the Israelite military, led by King Saul, underwent a total psychological collapse. This diagram illustrates their terror. Compared to the average soldier, Goliath stood a towering 2.9 meters tall. His equipment was equally overwhelming: a 57-kilogram bronze breastplate and a 7-kilogram iron spearhead. This massive defense vastly outweighed the Israelite infantry's offensive capacity. This physical disparity neutralized King Saul. As an earthly leader, he evaluated the threat using purely human metrics of power and found his army lacking. When military dominance and worldly resources are a leader's only metrics, they are defenseless against a force that simply has more of them. David arrives at the front lines as an outsider. He carries no weapons, making him look entirely out of place in a professional military encampment. He finds an army motivated by fear and greed. The soldiers are obsessed with the rewards Saul has promised: wealth, royal marriage, and tax exemptions for the man who kills the giant. David, however, is driven by the insult Goliath has leveled at the name of God. He views the giant not as a military problem to be solved for profit, but as a theological challenge to God's honor. His willingness to fight isn't based on a sudden burst of adrenaline. It is rooted in a history of private trials that the army never saw. In the wilderness, David's pastoral duties were a matter of survival. He had already faced lions and bears to protect his flock, using those moments to test his reliance on divine protection. He complemented this trust with relentless discipline, spending years perfecting the speed and accuracy required to hit a moving target with a sling. Spiritual courage is the product of this combination: daily physical discipline and a history of relying on God through previous, smaller trials. Before David enters the valley, King Saul attempts to equip him according to standard military protocol. Saul places his own heavy royal bronze armor onto the shepherd boy. By attempting to use this armor, David would be relying on the same human strategies and physical defenses that had already failed the rest of the army for 40 days. David rejects the armor and chooses these tools instead. We see the 5 smooth stones and leather sling he took from the brook. These stones represent a total shift in strategy, from a reliance on human engineering to a reliance on God's power. David boldly faces Goliath and declares that he fights entirely in the name of the Lord of hosts. With a single stone, he bypasses the giant's bronze and iron defenses, ending the battle instantly. This victory demonstrates that faith does not merely compete with worldly power, it renders even the most advanced human defenses obsolete. The resolution of the fight reveals a specific truth about the nature of authority. The 40-day deadlock happened because the Israelite army and its king had lost sight of who was actually in command. While Saul held the title of king, he was merely an earthly executor. David succeeded because he recognized that the Lord of hosts remained the actual commander and the true king of the army. In our own lives, we face modern giants, circumstances or challenges that seemed physically and mathematically impossible to overcome. When we face them, we have to choose our equipment. Are we trying to fight using Saul's armor, relying on money, seeking out status or human approval? Or are we trusting the strength that has carried us through our past? In any struggle, victory belongs to God. It is granted to those who fight not for their own personal advancement, but for the glory of the true King.